homeschoolers, let's take a look at our featured homeschooling family.
Hi, I'm Shotan King Sen, and this is my wife Rika.
And we have 2 sons. We are homeschooling families and on to our 4th year of homeschooling. Actually, I've been hearing homeschooling from the church. And my husband actually mentioned to me one time, but we didn't really take it seriously until the Lord led us here. It is actually the faithfulness of God. That's why we are homeschooling now. It is the story of His faithfulness to our family.
Actually, si Rika nag-reach ng idea if I would be interested in homeschooling the kids as well. So I said, well, since they're still at their grade level and kinder pa yun isa, so we decided might as well try now rather than later. So nothing to lose naman.
My eldest is enrolled in Jubilee Christian Academy, and then we're about to enroll our youngest. But because since there's a conflict of schedule, we decided maybe this is the best time to try homeschooling for our youngest since wala masyadong pressure.
For one, our son Zeke came from traditional school. Well, for one, he really enjoyed it because he does not need to wake up really early to get dressed, get everything ready to get to school. So he really liked it that way. But siyempre, the downside to it, sometimes yun nga, masyadong relaxed din. Kumpiyansa.
It's really a blessing that we are homeschooling because I've seen the learning gap and we are addressing that, and he is responding positively to it.
Well, a typical day is there's no certain plans in my case, especially kasi my job, sometimes I work in the morning, sometimes I work in the afternoon, sometimes at night time. But when I do have time in the morning, that's usually when I try to teach the kids sa subjects that is assigned sa akin.
Yes, we try to have a regular schedule because we don't know when are we going to bring them back to a regular school, and the kids know that by this time they're homeschooling already. They should be homeschooling already. Sa first year ng homeschooling namin, there's really a big struggle for us because what I did was I just brought kung ano man yung what they're doing in a regular school, I just brought it at home. Talagang literal homeschool. And that should not be the case kasi iba naman yung environment dito. And actually, there was one time that I am so parang overwhelmed with the task, and I really almost wanted to give up. But the faithfulness of God, when yun talaga yung nag-ooperate sa amin, yung faithfulness ni God. He reminded me, He spoke to me in 2 Timothy 1:7 ata, that the Lord did not give us the spirit of timidity, but of power, love, and of self-discipline. Kasi I almost give up talaga. Parang ayoko na ata mag-homeschooling.
In my case, my struggle is planning. I'm typically not a well-organized guy, but since we started homeschooling, it somehow forced me to make sure divide to how many chapters or divide para ilang quarters if we fit in somehow like that, and it made me be more conscious about my planning. That's the main struggle that I had. Because of your high expectation of your children, you tend to have shorter fuse sometimes. Parang, hindi ko pa nakukuha, parang ganun. So, sometimes, and then eventually you would realize, he's still at that stage where he's still learning, and yet you have this experience already. So it's easier for you to think that mas madali pa, hindi mo pa nakukuha. So I think it's also a humbling experience. God convicted me that you gotta be more patient if you want to teach your children as well.
Homeschooling has really not only transformed our kids in terms of their schooling, academic and all, it has really transformed our family. It's like intentional parenting, and it made me aware also my weaknesses and strength. And I am so parang this homeschooling has really blessed us in many, many ways, because you discover a lot about yourself and the kids as well. Nurture pati yung relationship ninyo ng parent and child.
In value of the time, those are priceless eh. Yes, you cannot put a monetary figure on it eh. Pero yung mga small situations or instances where your kids will suddenly say something to you that either will make you laugh or either it will get you go crazy, parang ganon. So yun, minsan yung mga ganon hindi mo malalagay sa value eh. It's priceless eh. But it allows us to appreciate yun God's blessing na ganon. That doesn't always have to be about how much you're getting or what you're getting.
Yes, and actually dito sa homeschooling talagang tinitest yung patience mo and pinuprune ka rin talaga ni God here. It has a lot of struggles, but then it has a lot of blessings at the same time.
One reward I can say is I get to really communicate with my kids ba, si Zeke and si Yuchi. I get to spend, as they say, club with them. So that's where they share their innermost secrets. So yun, that's one of the reward that I learned to appreciate from them.
Number one is as I've said before, yung intentional parenting. Yung parang God has really given us the opportunity this time to really raise them in a godly environment, in a godly way. And then, isa pa nun is parang na-compare namin kasi my youngest, since K1, nag-homeschool na siya. From K1, now on to his grade 2. And yung eldest naman namin, pinull out namin sa regular school. So, we were able to compare yung talagang, how do you say, learning growth nilang dalawa, at saka yung learning gap nung eldest ko. Ngayon, they're very independent. They're independent learner. There are times that we leave them homework to do, like I need to go out, and then we leave them homeworks to do, and then you can see that andun yung kanilang discipline, andun na rin yung the parang independent nila to do their own homework. My encouragement to other homeschooling families is to really be connected with the Lord and have this personal relationship with Him, and ask for His guidance and wisdom and protection as well, because it is not really easy to homeschool, but once you discover homeschooling, it is such a blessing, and the Lord will really guide you all the way, and you will discover also the faithfulness of God in your family.
Homeschooling is, in a way, I relate it to some extent like how you experience life. If you don't try it, if you don't step out of what's comfortable to you, how would you know if it's gonna work for you? So, might as well try it.
Welcome to Values or Values You Can Use. The Bible says in 1 Peter 2 verse 17, honor all people. This is a value which is very important in young children especially, so they learn to show respect to those not just older than, to the siblings, but to those people in general that they encounter, whether it be waiters by calling them by their first name, calling them sir, ma'am, or the household help calling them ate and calling their name, or kuya to the boys or the drivers, and to grandparents, us parents using our names as they address us. Yes, mommy, yes, daddy, yes, grandpa, yes, grandma, whether they feel like it or not is very important. You know, as they meet new people as well, one of the ways we instill honor and respect is they will look them in the eyes, extend their hands, shake it like this, and say, for example, hi, my name is Edric, nice to meet you. And then they do that, and oftentimes we will get a surprise reaction because it's uncommon. But shouldn't that be the norm, where we honor all people?
In fact, it's not the norm in young children, and we really have to instill this in them. I remember our 3-year-old Catalina. I was at this very table and I was leaning over talking to my other children, so I was a little bit distracted. She was trying to get my attention, and I wasn't paying attention to her because I was talking to our other kids. And so she slapped my rear end and she said, "Joy, get me chocolate." And I looked over at her because I was surprised because she's so little, but she didn't understand that she was doing anything disrespectful. And so I had to take her aside and explain to her, "Catalina, you don't address mommy and daddy as by our first names. You have to call us mommy or daddy. And when we tell you something, you need to say, okay, mommy, okay, daddy." And I've had to repeat this several times with her, but now she gets it. She knows that she can't call us by our first names. And this is something we've had to train our other children in as well, because naturally children are not respectful. And so it's our duty and responsibility as parents to teach them and also to role model it. I remember there have been times when in my tone towards Edric, I'm not super respectful. And my kids have picked it up, and sometimes maybe they'll use the same tone with me or with Edric, and I've had to apologize to them and also demonstrate how to talk to other people with a respectful tone. And it's so important that I model it in the way I talk to Edric, especially.
Excellent.
I know.
I'm guilty of that same thing. So even as we go through these values, it's so important, as Joy said, that we don't just tell our children, but we do it and model it ourselves.
What an interesting talk on values. Moving on to great answers.
Help your child love learning. How? Let me show you how. One is point to the positive. Instead of saying to your child, "You're not reaching far enough," why not try telling her, "Wow, you've reached 4 levels already. Want to see how it looks like when it reaches to 5? Second is, let learning be its own reward. Instead of saying to your son, "If you let me read this to you, I'm going to give you a cookie," why not try this one? "Come, let us read together. This is all about words. And after this, we're going to learn something, and I will read you about dogs." Thirdly, share your world. If your daughter asks you, "Dad, what's that on the TV?" don't tell her, "Oh, you will never understand." Try this. Tell her the plot of the movie in her terms. "Anak, it's all about the family who survives the storm." Fourth, put things in perspective. When your child finds reading difficult, try this one. "I know that sometimes reading is hard. Why don't you tell me the words that you don't understand, and let us Google it together?" And last but not the least, instead of you asking the question, why don't you have your child ask the question? Encourage them to do the asking. Help your child love learning. Happy homeschooling!
Up next, Out of the Box with Jessica.
Hello, homeschoolers. Cheska here with another Out of the Box feature. Today, it's all about clay. As promised, we have this educational kit from Jumping Clay. What's nice about this is that it's non-toxic. It's air drying. It doesn't stick or stain. It has a natural jasmine scent. And you can mix colors. Wow! You want to know how to make these? Well, I'll show you how. I'm so excited to see what's in this. After all the molding and cutting, it's time to assemble. And that's how you play with clay. See you guys next time. Bye. So today, clay, nice. Mom, this isn't toxic. Defend yourselves, kids. I'm not saying don't be subknife to your parents, okay? Wait, let's feel. I can do some tricks with this. Because of its quality, safety, famous features. Amazing! I'm really impressed, but I'm so excited to see what's in this.
Homeschool TV is now online. You can find us on our website www.homeschooltv.ph and on our social media accounts. See you there!